Hi, I'm Vanessa Conlin, Master of Wine and Head of Wine at Wine Access, and I'm very excited to be here with Matthew from Mélisse to talk about wine inspiration, pairings, and whatever else might come up in this conversation. So thank you so much for being here, Matthew.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's an honor and excited to speak with you. Let's do it.
Likewise, likewise. So I guess where I'd love to start is kind of just about like where you find inspiration for the wines that you want to feature at Mélisse.
Yeah. Well, I drink and love and serve for the most part the classic wines of France, and then what I would say are the either becoming classic or already classic wines of California. So that are influenced by those methods and methodologies and ideas, but aren't trying to clone them and realize that there's a few thousand miles between the regions and they are inherently different things. It really is apples to oranges. So as far as what I'm using for the wine program in general at Mélisse, and then specifically with the wine pairings, that's for the most part what I'm pulling from. Inspiration wise, as far as wine goes in general and kind of how I think about it, honestly, I pull a lot not from the world of wine. I've always been a musician, I'm a photographer also, and there's a lot of overlap in those fields. Like I think of wine in a musical way, in the sense that, you know, if you look at it like an equalizer, there's bass and there's middle and there's treble, and different wines accentuate different frequencies, if you will. And, you know, compression and limiting, and, you know, the ways that wine can be manipulated maybe slightly to enhance it, or overly manipulated to where you kind of squash the soul out of it. There's a lot of overlap with that in the wine making process. So I think of it, and the fact that service is a performance. And so there's a lot of, I say music, honestly, is really what I pull from a lot. And I want harmonious wines. I want wines that work well together. And I look at it like, so if someone comes in to the restaurant and they have the tasting menu and they don't drink wine, wine's not part of the equation. The food's all got to make sense, right? The food's got to work together and complement each other. So this is like an album, right? A collection of songs that have been written and recorded and really worked as kind of one unit. And then to flip that, although this doesn't really happen, but as far as the hypothetical goes, theoretically, if someone came in and just did the wine pairings without the food, it's also got to be interesting, and it also has to tell a story. So I kind of look at the wines on two parallel tracks. They are there as pairings and they are there as enhancements, but they are also, if there wasn't food, would it still be interesting? Would it still tell a story? And would it still be an album that you want to listen to every song? You don't want to skip a song, right? I'm kind of diehard about that as far as music goes in general. Like, you watch a film from front to back, you listen to an album from front to back. So as far as a collection of things that go together and work well with each other, that's really what I pull from more than any one thing in the actual world of wine. And I think it's helpful because it's so easy to just get myopic, especially when you're really into it and it's your career and you've been doing it for a minute. You just think wine, 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 wine. But like what other things can inform it, I think can give a more interesting end product.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just meeting for the first time, which is, I love that wine can bring us together like this. So I have a background as a musician as well. So
awesome.
When we started talking, I was like, I feel like I've had this conversation myself. It's so interesting to hear the way that you describe that with like the treble and the bass and like sort of things working in harmony. And it's so true. There are so many, I think, words we use to describe wine that are sort of musical, you know, balance, harmony, you know, so I don't know, I'm smiling really, really big right now.
Nice. I love it. Yeah. I have this, like, I don't know if it's a joke, but it's something. I look at salt, oak, and auto-tune are all kind of the same thing, in the sense where as soon as you've noticed it like, you don't want, the best thing you ever had in your life had a fair amount of salt in it, but it didn't mean it was salty. And a lot of, you know, wine circles, you know, as soon as people hear, oh, wine's oaked, or there's, oh, a Chardonnay with oak on it, that it's going to just taste a certain way. It's like, nope, not like all the great Chardonnays in the world, maybe not all, but most of them, they are oaked, and just, you don't notice it because it melds in. And then most modern albums, and not just from, you know, like pop stars and, you know, like really like top 40 kind of stuff, like they are adjusting the vocals a little bit, a tiny bit, just to get them to sit in the music. You don't hear it, but as soon as you hear it, then something went wrong. So there's an interesting, again, with the touch, like you've got to, it's the decisions you don't make often that lead to, again, a better end product. But I love it. Nice.
Yeah. Don't you think too? I often say like, it's something I love about, one of the many things I love about wine and music is it sort of like reminds us to feel things, right?
Yeah.
You know, that like it's using our senses to appreciate something, you know, because we're all, I know, stuck behind so many screens and, you know, spreadsheets and all the part of the wine business is that isn't the sort of romantic, sexy part of it. But then it reminds me like, oh no, this is really something that makes me feel, and you know, I'm smelling, I'm using my senses, my eyes, my palate, like, you know, it's connecting me to the people around me and inspiring conversation. And I'm so sorry. One second.
You're good.
This is the beauty of not being live.
Okay.
Hi, this is Vanessa.
Hi, yes. This is the U.S. Director of the Michelin Guide calling. Is Matthew there?
Matthew is here. I'm actually speaking to him right now.
Oh, really?
Hi.
Yes.
Hello.
Well, I have a message for him.
All right, let's hear it.
He's listening.
All right, Matthew Luczy. This is the U.S. Director of the Michelin Guide. This year, the Guide has launched a program recognizing outstanding sommelier and wine programs. And I'm happy to announce that you are one of this year's recipients. Congratulations on being named a Michelin Guide California Sommelier of the Year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Wow. It's amazing. I'm
very welcome.
tripping out in the best way. I got to put on some music. It's going to make me feel a lot of things real quick.
Yeah.
Oh man, amazing. Thank you so much. I cannot tell you how not lightly I take that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow.